Imagine stepping into any room and feeling a subtle shift in the air, a quiet but unmistakable reverence toward your presence. You are neither chasing approval nor demanding recognition, yet your presence commands respect. People listen, not because you raise your voice, but because your words are rare, deliberate, and valuable. This is not mere fantasy. It is the power of self-mastery. With insight rooted in the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, this journey will unveil the art of becoming a priority, someone whom others regard with a respect that transcends words. But is this an easy feat? Not always. We live in a world that pulls us toward external validation, competing for attention in endless scrolls and sound bites. So how can we build genuine respect, becoming the person others seek out, without relying on surface-level tactics? The answer lies in cultivating your inner fortitude and living with an unshakable sense of self-worth. The following 10 strategies are not about manipulation or mere performance. These are principles drawn from Stoic philosophy that encourage you to align with your own value and purpose. If you apply them with sincerity, they will lead you toward a life where respect, recognition, and priority naturally come your way. Today, we're not only uncovering strategies to help you be noticed, but to be truly valued. Each of these 10 principles is a brick in the foundation of self-respect and resilience. So, stay with me, especially as we reach the final point where all these teachings converge. The last strategy is where the true power lies. 1. Forge inner joy. Happiness is fleeting when rooted in others. Have you ever noticed how easily joy vanishes when it's tied to someone else's words, actions, or opinions? One moment, you're on top of the world, and the next, you feel overlooked or undervalued. This dependence on external validation is like building a house on sand. It shifts with every tide. In Stoicism, there is a timeless lesson. Real joy must be found within. True happiness doesn't come from things beyond our control. It emerges from a sense of self grounded in virtues and values. By anchoring your satisfaction in something stable, your character, discipline, and internal goals, you create a lasting sense of joy that doesn't waver with every external change. Consider this. What if you could cultivate a joy that no one could take away? Imagine the resilience of someone who doesn't need to look outside themselves for happiness. There's a certain magnetism in self-sufficiency, a quiet confidence that others instinctively respect. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate an inner calm, a steady contentment that doesn't depend on external applause or attention. When you are deeply content on your own, you become the rock, not the waves crashing upon it. So, how do you start to forge this inner joy? It begins with appreciating the simple things that are under your control. Pay attention to your own small victories, your personal achievements, and the quiet moments in life. Take pride in finishing that project you started, in staying disciplined, in sticking to your word. Make these moments matter more than the opinions of others. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is a fundamental Stoic exercise. At the end of each day, reflect on things you're genuinely thankful for, things that come from within or through your actions. Did you stay calm in a challenging moment? Did you follow through on a commitment? Did you act with integrity, even when no one was watching? These small moments add up to a self-regard that is unshakable. When you find joy in these inner sources, something remarkable happens. You become magnetic. People sense that you don't need them to complete you, which paradoxically draws them closer. This isn't about becoming aloof or isolated, but about finding peace within yourself. In a world where most people search for happiness in fleeting things, the person who stands grounded in their own joy is a rarity. A person others want to know, admire, and respect. Are you ready to become that person? Are you willing to find joy in your daily life, separate from the shifting tides of public opinion? Let your happiness be rooted so deeply in your character that you are immovable. This self-sufficient joy will elevate you, making others respect you without any need for performance or persuasion. And as we move forward, remember that each strategy builds on this foundation of self-regard. 2. Command your space. You wouldn't accept a supporting role in your own life, would you? Yet, how often do we find ourselves compromising our worth, settling for situations that don't recognize our value? In any environment, be it the workplace, social circles, or even family, our presence deserves to be acknowledged with respect. But this recognition starts within. To command respect externally, you must first respect yourself enough to choose environments where you are valued. Ask yourself, are you placing yourself in spaces where your value is known, or are you struggling to be seen? Stoicism teaches us that we don't control how others view us, but we do control where we place our time and energy. If your efforts go unnoticed or are undervalued, it may be time to consider a change. This isn't about ego. It's about honoring your self-worth and aligning with people who recognize and appreciate it. Think of it like this. A Stoic knows they are not bound to any place or person that does not acknowledge their intrinsic worth. Just as an emperor wouldn't occupy a throne where his influence is ignored, you shouldn't remain in spaces where you are merely a shadow. Your commitment to self-respect will naturally command others to respect you. How do you identify these environments? Start by asking, does this place, job, or relationship align with my values? Does it encourage my growth? These questions are central to Stoicism because they require a clear evaluation of whether your energy is wisely invested. For instance, if your workplace fails to recognize your contributions, it may be worth assessing if this is the right environment for you. Are you staying out of habit or fear? The Stoic approach encourages you to pursue purpose, not comfort. When you step into environments that align with your values, you naturally elevate your standing without needing to demand it. This isn't about forcing others to respect you. In truth, respect cannot be forced. It must be earned, starting with the way you regard yourself. When you value your time and abilities enough to seek places where they are appreciated, you send a powerful message. Others take notice, recognizing that you are not someone to overlook. This quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't shout but simply chooses wisely, is compelling. When you walk into a room with the certainty that you belong there, you project a natural authority. But if that space does not recognize your value, let it be a lesson in self-respect. Do not linger where your worth is not acknowledged. Just as a Stoic doesn't waste words, they don't waste presence. Be deliberate about where you invest yourself. Let your presence be intentional, an act of self-regard that shapes how others perceive you. This command over your environment reinforces a message not just to others, but to yourself, that you are the architect of your own standing in any place you choose to occupy. Are you ready to choose environments that truly respect your value? To step into rooms not with the aim of being seen, but with the certainty of your place? 3. Know when to step back. Sometimes, the most powerful move you can make is not to press forward, but to step back. We often think of strength as persistence, as sticking it out no matter what, but real strength, the kind that commands respect, also knows when to withdraw. This ability to step away from situations, relationships, or commitments that no longer serve your growth is a hallmark of self-respect and inner peace, fundamental pillars of Stoicism. Have you ever found yourself clinging to something that clearly wasn't right for you? Whether it's a job, a friendship, or even an idea of yourself, sometimes the hardest thing to do is let go. But consider this. In clinging, are you truly honoring your worth? A Stoic understands that detachment is not a sign of weakness or giving up. It is the ultimate act of self-preservation. When you detach from outcomes and release the need for things beyond your control, you liberate yourself. You remind the world and yourself that your value is not determined by any single relationship, role, or result. It is this quiet assurance this willingness to step back that people respect deeply. They see in you a rare quality, the courage to prioritize your own peace over external pressures. The Stoics often advise that, like a wise general, we must know when to retreat. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote of the importance of living in harmony with one's own nature. This means respecting your limits and not forcing yourself into situations that are unworthy of you. But how do you know when it's time to step back? Consider the situation carefully. Ask yourself, does staying here honor my values and contribute to my growth, or am I compromising my integrity? If the answer is the latter, then stepping back is not surrender. It's self-respect in action. This doesn't have to be a drastic or dramatic exit. It can be a quiet, deliberate choice, a turning away that signals you're unwilling to compromise your self-worth. Stepping back is often misunderstood as giving up, but for the Stoic, it's a strategic retreat. You're not retreating because you're defeated, but because you understand that your time and energy are precious resources. If they are better spent elsewhere, then moving on becomes an act of wisdom, not weakness. It is a choice to invest in places where you can grow and contribute meaningfully. Imagine the strength it takes to walk away from something familiar but unfulfilling. The decision to step back sends a signal, not only to others but to yourself, that you are unbound by the need to please or to conform. This act reaffirms your own value, showing others that you are a person who will not settle for anything less than what aligns with your purpose. So how do you practice this art of stepping back? Begin by embracing the grace of letting go. Realize that by stepping back, you're not losing but gaining, the freedom to direct your energy toward what truly matters. In the silence that follows, you create a space for something new, something that respects and reflects your worth. Are you prepared to step back when needed, to release the need for validation from things that do not serve your higher self? By choosing when to step away, you exercise control over your life's direction. This is true freedom, the ability to move forward by first moving back. Let this be your silent strength, a message to the world that you will not compromise your integrity for anything or anyone. 4. The art of silence. In a world brimming with noise where everyone seems eager to fill every gap with words, the value of silence has become a rare and powerful thing. Imagine the impression you leave when, instead of rushing to speak, you wait, choosing your words with care. Silence isn't simply the absence of sound. It's a presence in its own right, a testament to self-control and confidence. The art of silence, deeply valued in Stoicism, is about knowing when to speak, and just as importantly, when to refrain. Have you ever been in a conversation where the other person constantly talks, never leaving room for thought? Perhaps you've found yourself doing the same, speaking out of a desire to fill empty space. But consider this. What message do we send when we are constantly the first to speak, always seeking to be heard? Silence, when used thoughtfully, communicates a different kind of message. It tells others that you are comfortable with stillness, that you don't need to fill the air to feel significant. It's a subtle signal that you are secure enough in yourself to listen rather than to insist. In Stoicism, silence represents inner peace, a calm assurance that does not rely on external validation. Silence makes your words more valuable. When you speak less, each word carries greater weight. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This advice is especially powerful when we want to command respect or elevate our presence. When you practice restraint in conversation, you show others that your words are not given lightly. They must be earned. This can have a profound effect on how people perceive you. How often do we give away our thoughts freely, filling the air without considering the impact? When you cultivate the art of silence, you remind others that your time and your thoughts are valuable, not to be given at the first impulse. This restraint, however, should be born from a place of sincerity, not manipulation. True silence speaks from a place of authenticity. Stoicism places great emphasis on controlling one's impulses, and silence is a powerful tool in this endeavor. It requires self-discipline to refrain from speaking, especially when emotions run high. Think of the strength it takes to remain quiet in a moment of anger, choosing instead to reflect before responding. This control not only preserves your peace, but also prevents you from saying things you may later regret. When you use silence intentionally, you become the master of your own narrative. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond with intention. This control is something others will respect and admire, as it reveals a person who is steady and reliable, qualities that inspire trust. So, how can you begin to integrate silence into your life? Start by being mindful in conversations. Allow others to finish their thoughts without interruption. Take a moment to breathe before responding. In situations where silence feels uncomfortable, resist the urge to fill it with idle chatter. Instead, allow the quiet to linger and see what insights come to you in that stillness. When you feel the impulse to respond immediately, ask yourself, is this response necessary, or am I reacting from a place of ego or impatience? Embrace the pause as a moment of power, an opportunity to choose your response rather than to be led by it. Over time, this practice will deepen your relationships as people begin to see you as a person who listens with intent and speaks with purpose. When you master the art of silence, your presence becomes more profound. People begin to notice that when you do speak, your words carry weight. Your silence draws people in, inviting them to listen more closely when you finally decide to speak. This is not about holding power over others, but about honoring your own presence and valuing your own voice. Are you ready to let silence become your ally? To create impact not through many words, but through a few well-chosen ones? In choosing silence, you create a sanctuary of peace within yourself and command a respect that does not need to be demanded. This is the quiet strength of a Stoic mind, a mind that speaks only when it is truly necessary. 5. Cultivate the fear of losing you. There is an undeniable power in being scarce, a force that draws people in because they begin to understand the value of your presence. Imagine this. If every moment of your time, every ounce of your attention is always available to someone, does it retain its significance? The truth, rooted in Stoicism, is that the things we take for granted often lose their worth. By cultivating a presence that isn't always guaranteed, you teach others to cherish your time and respect your boundaries. Why is scarcity so powerful? It's human nature to want what we cannot easily have. When we are constantly accessible, our presence risks becoming another predictable part of someone's routine. But when we make ourselves just a bit less available, our time becomes a gift, something for others to appreciate rather than assume. Consider this. When you consistently make others the center of your world, you risk becoming just another fixture in their lives. However, when you pull back a little, you allow them to see the absence you leave, and this absence stirs reflection on your worth. This isn't about manipulation. It's about self-respect and ensuring that your time is valued. So, how can you practice this art of subtle withdrawal? It starts by diversifying where you invest your attention. Pour yourself into multiple areas of life, your personal growth, hobbies, passions, and other relationships. By spreading your time across various pursuits, you create a life that's rich, full, and not centered around any single person. This practice of balanced withdrawal means you're not neglecting others, but rather showing that your life is a vast landscape filled with people and pursuits that hold value. It's a quiet reminder to others that while you enjoy their presence, you are not defined by it. When done right, this approach naturally leads others to respect your time and presence, understanding that it is not something to be taken lightly. The Stoics understood the power of detachment, recognizing that by loosening our grip on external validation, we allow our own value to shine more brightly. When you cultivate the fear of losing you, you're not playing games. Rather, you are practicing a form of self-preservation, showing that your world doesn't revolve solely around others' expectations or needs. Absence, when used wisely, is a reminder of what you bring to others' lives. It allows people the space to reflect, to realize that your presence is not something they should assume. In your absence, they begin to understand what they may lose, and this creates a natural appreciation for the time they do have with you. It's important to balance this principle. Stoicism teaches us not to swing to extremes, but to maintain moderation in all things. This approach doesn't mean disappearing or withholding affection. It simply means creating boundaries around your time and energy. By doing so, you ensure that each interaction is meaningful, each connection is cherished, and each person knows that they share your time with other valuable aspects of your life. Setting these boundaries can be challenging, especially in a world that prizes constant connection and availability. But remember, boundaries are not barriers. They are expressions of respect, both for yourself and for others. When you have clear boundaries, people sense that you are a person of substance, someone who respects their own time and, by extension, respects theirs. When you cultivate this awareness in others, you achieve a powerful effect. People begin to prioritize you naturally. In your absence, your presence is felt. When you return, it feels like a privilege. This approach does not require any words. It is understood through action and consistency. Are you prepared to show others what your presence truly means? To let them feel the value of your time, your attention, and your respect? This practice is a reminder to others, and to yourself, that your presence is not something that can be taken for granted. When you cultivate this sense of scarcity, you enhance your standing in the lives of others, creating a bond of respect that's rooted in appreciation rather than obligation. 6. The allure of mystery. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, mystery is a rare and powerful trait. Consider the effect of leaving certain aspects of yourself unexplained, allowing others only glimpses into who you are. There's a quiet strength in maintaining a bit of distance, in not laying every card on the table. Mystery, when used with authenticity and restraint, creates an allure that captivates others without needing to demand attention. Why does mystery hold such power over people? It's simple. The human mind is naturally drawn to the unknown. When you reveal everything about yourself immediately, you leave nothing for others to explore. But when you hold back, even slightly, people sense that there is more to you, depths yet to be uncovered. This subtle mystery invites curiosity and respect. In Stoicism, there is wisdom in the restraint of words and actions. It is not only about protecting your inner self, but about cultivating an image that is not easily predictable or fully understood. This isn't about being deceptive or aloof. Rather, it's about honoring the parts of yourself that are sacred and choosing to share them only with those who earn your trust and respect. How can you cultivate this aura of mystery without appearing distant or unapproachable? Start by sharing less, but with purpose. When asked about your past, your passions, or your dreams, offer enough to engage, but not enough to be fully known. Consider each answer a brushstroke, painting a picture that invites others to lean in, to question, to seek more. For instance, instead of giving a full account of a life experience, share only what is relevant to the moment. This practice of restraint, of giving broad strokes rather than fine details, encourages people to fill in the gaps on their own, naturally drawing them toward you. This isn't about playing games or manipulating. It's about inviting genuine interest, sparking curiosity in a way that feels authentic. Maintaining mystery doesn't mean being closed off or cold. Stoicism encourages balance in all things, and the key here is moderation. It's about discerning what is worth sharing and what should be held back. When you open up fully to someone, it should feel intentional and meaningful. By being selective in what you reveal, you create a space for others to grow closer, to invest their time and energy in discovering who you truly are. This approach to mystery allows others to see you as multidimensional, as someone with layers that cannot be understood at a glance. Each encounter, each conversation becomes an invitation for deeper understanding. This is the essence of true connection, allowing others the privilege of knowing you slowly through time and trust. In the Stoic tradition, there is a strong focus on inner tranquility and self-respect. By keeping parts of yourself private, you protect the sacred aspects of your identity, preserving them from trivial or superficial interactions. Not everyone deserves access to your whole story, and it is within your control to choose who you allow into those more private aspects of your life. Ask yourself, does this person or situation deserve to know this part of me? In choosing what to share, you assert control over your narrative, showing others that you are someone with boundaries and depth. This reserved nature doesn't create distance. It fosters respect and a genuine interest from those around you. When you embody mystery, you become someone others want to understand, a puzzle worth solving. People are naturally curious about those who are not easily defined, those who carry an air of quiet confidence and reserve. By keeping certain aspects of yourself private, you invite others to invest in you, to work toward knowing you on a deeper level. This curiosity often translates into respect, as people begin to value the opportunity to see beneath the surface. Are you ready to let mystery become part of your presence, to allow others the privilege of understanding you slowly and intentionally? In a world that often demands full access to everyone's life, choosing to be selective about what you reveal sets you apart. This is not secrecy, it is discernment. By cultivating a sense of mystery, you attract genuine interest, allowing only those who truly value you to see the depth and richness of who you are. 7. Be the center of your own world. Imagine a life where you are the center, not of others' worlds, but of your own, anchored, purposeful, and entirely aligned with what matters to you. In this state, you no longer orbit around others, seeking approval or attention. Instead, you cultivate your own gravitational pull, drawing others toward you naturally, as they are captivated by your depth and independence. Are you living for yourself or constantly adjusting to fit into the lives of others? Stoicism teaches that our purpose and actions should be aligned with our own values, not shaped by the demands or expectations of those around us. When you revolve around others, you risk becoming a satellite in their world, easily taken for granted, predictable, and ultimately unappreciated. To center yourself, focus on building a life rich with pursuits that resonate with your own spirit, your passions, goals, and personal growth. This isn't about excluding others. It's about prioritizing your journey, living for yourself in a way that naturally draws others to your world. When you live with this purpose, people feel the energy and are often inspired to be part of your journey. The power of this self-centered approach lies in its magnetism. People are naturally drawn to those who appear self-sufficient, who do not need others to feel complete. When you're deeply invested in your own life, your passions, and your personal development, others are intrigued. You become the greener grass because you are living in alignment with your own principles, not looking for fulfillment outside yourself. This doesn't mean avoiding connections or shutting people out. Instead, it's about creating a life so interesting and fulfilling that others are drawn to you without needing you to chase them. When you become your own center, others revolve around you out of admiration and respect, not obligation. What kind of life would captivate others? Think about what excites and interests you and invest your time there. Develop your skills, explore your passions, and set goals that resonate with your spirit. This life of purpose and self-respect creates a profound influence on others, leading them to value you not because you seek validation, but because they see in you the fulfillment they themselves desire. Are you ready to make yourself the center of your own world? To live with such purpose that others naturally gravitate toward you? This self-centered approach, in the Stoic sense, isn't about selfishness. It's about strength and integrity, about living with conviction and creating a presence that stands strong in the face of life's challenges. 8. Master the art of presence through absence. One of the most counterintuitive yet powerful strategies in Stoicism is to understand the impact of limited availability. When you are always present, always accessible, your presence risks becoming undervalued. Instead, learn to be present only when you are truly engaged, making each moment with others purposeful. Absence, when used wisely, creates a sense of importance and respect. Why is gold valued more than gravel? Because it is rare. Likewise, when you are always available, others may unconsciously begin to take you for granted. In practicing the art of limited availability, you reinforce the value of your presence. This is not about playing games, it's about protecting your time and energy and offering it only where it's truly valued. When you do grant your time, make it an intentional gift. Be fully present in those moments, offering your full attention and energy. By doing so, you emphasize the value of that interaction, making your presence a privilege rather than a given. This creates a lasting impact as others come to respect and appreciate the quality of your engagement. Ask yourself, are you constantly available to others, or are you selective with your time? Practice saying no when needed, allowing yourself to focus on pursuits that fulfill you. This way, when you do show up, your presence is rich with meaning. Absence doesn't have to mean detachment. It's about engaging in pursuits that nourish your soul, sharpening your mind, and fortifying your spirit. When you return, you bring a renewed sense of purpose, which others instinctively respect. Are you prepared to make your presence valuable by being selectively absent, to create depth and appreciation for the time you choose to share? This approach teaches others that your presence is a privilege, not a convenience, and reinforces the Stoic value of inner peace and self-discipline. 9. The currency of investment. Value grows through investment, whether it's time, effort, or emotional energy. In Stoicism, we learn to recognize our own worth, and part of this self-respect comes from encouraging others to invest in us. The more someone invests in you, the more they respect you, and the stronger their commitment becomes. Think about this. We often value what we invest in. The more effort we pour into something, the more attached we become to it. If you are always giving without allowing others to reciprocate, you risk being undervalued. Encourage others to meet you halfway, to contribute to the relationship, and to make an effort. This balance is key in Stoicism, giving and receiving equally. How do you foster this dynamic? Start by being approachable, but don't offer yourself completely without reciprocity. If someone wishes to spend time with you, let them show effort. Communicate clearly, and don't compromise your commitments or values to fit others in. This isn't about playing hard to get, it's about showing respect for your time and integrity. When others make an effort, acknowledge it. Show appreciation, reinforcing the value of their investment. This respect is mutual, building a relationship where both parties see the other as valuable and worthy of effort. By encouraging others to invest in you, you create a standard for how you expect to be treated. People come to understand that your time is precious, that it is a privilege to be part of your world. This doesn't mean being inaccessible, but rather fostering connections that are built on respect and mutual investment. Are you willing to set this standard, to encourage investment and, in turn, increase your value in the eyes of others? In the end, this approach builds strong, respectful relationships that enhance both your life and the lives of those around you. 10. Command attention by valuing yourself. At the foundation of each of these principles is one enduring truth. The value you place on yourself is the value others will see. Stoicism teaches us that respect begins within, and if you truly honor yourself, others cannot help but respect you as well. Why is it that we often look to others for approval? The Stoics teach us that true contentment comes from within, that our worth is not dictated by others' opinions. When you live with self-regard, you become impervious to external validation. This inner strength is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who respect themselves deeply. To command attention, begin by treating yourself with respect and dignity in all that you do. Hold yourself to high standards, be disciplined in your actions, and carry yourself with poise. This self-respect projects a quiet authority, one that does not seek approval, but earns it. Integrity is a cornerstone of Stoicism. Are you living in alignment with your values, or are you compromising to please others? When you live authentically, people take notice. They see someone who values themselves enough not to settle or change for convenience. This commitment to yourself is what makes others prioritize you. When you respect yourself, you set the standard for how others should treat you. You show the world that your time, your energy, and your presence are worthy of care and consideration. People come to understand that they must meet you with the same respect that you show yourself, creating a foundation of mutual regard and appreciation. Are you ready to place this value on yourself? To live with the strength and integrity that commands true respect. By honoring yourself, you naturally become a person of importance. Others will recognize this, and you will find that respect and priority follow naturally, not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. Each of these strategies is a step toward becoming a person of true worth and respect. By applying these principles of Stoicism, you cultivate a presence that others are drawn to, not through force, but through quiet confidence and unwavering self-respect. Remember, these steps are not quick tricks. They are practices that will elevate your self-worth and build resilience. True priority comes not from external approval, but from living with authenticity and purpose. Call to action. If these principles resonate with you, take a moment to reflect on how you can apply them. Leave a comment sharing which strategy you're excited to try. And if this journey has added value to your life, consider subscribing to join a community of like-minded individuals. Together, we can deepen our understanding of Stoicism and live with wisdom, courage, and serenity. Thank you for watching, and may you walk forward with strength and inner peace.